While we have U.S. troops dying in Afghanistan to protect those freedoms, we have elementary school teachers, we have middle school teachers, we have, teachers in the U.S. teaching children the kind of values that are going to, have this country end up in a place like Afghanistan is in down the road.
Yeah, it's really sad to see a story like this come out during a time when we're seeing Americans sacrificing their lives. We're seeing people like Tim Kennedy, even if they're not active military, being willing to go over there and rescue Americans, be able to rescue our Afghan allies who are in trouble. Meanwhile, back home, we just have some of the most embarrassing things you could imagine going on. Some things that, they're laughable in a sense, but they're also not laughable because it's very disturbing that they can be going on here and that it's happening. But particularly what I'm talking about right now is this video that kind of went viral over the weekend. We did a story on it here at the Western Journal. It's a woman who is a teacher. Her name is Kristen Pitson. She goes on TikTok by the name of @Mrs. Gillingsworth. Or should say she did go on TikTok. Now she has deleted her TikTok due to the backlash from this video that we're about to show you. But basically, she was explaining to her TikTok followers why she doesn't feel like it's necessary for her students to have an American flag in their room to say the Pledge of Allegiance, because she's got a better solution that she can give us. So we have a video here that she can explain that to us, what she's saying.
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there. But I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
I don't like her.
No, I'm not a fan either.
Where's her mask? Isn't she a child murderer?
Okay, I've got a lot of things to break down.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot.
First of all,
wow.
She is just like the type of person that if I saw them on the street, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I need to go to the other side of the street. I just would not want to have a conversation with that person.
The liberal just oozes from her. Yes.
I don't like to judge a book based on its cover, but you can when you
tell.
see a person like that, you can tell that they're the kind of person who would tell their children that they should pledge to the gay pride flag. So she's just an unlikable person, but more than that, she's laughing about this
she's
whole
so
thing.
giddy about it.
It's so funny
goodness.
that she's telling her children that they should be pledging allegiance.
I think that bothers me the most.
Yeah. It's just some little game.
It's funny.
She's destroying these children's minds is what she's really doing. And she's acting like it's a game. And so it's just really disturbing to me.
The flag bothered her?
Right. That part, too, she's like, oh, it made me uncomfortable. It's like, oh, if you're uncomfortable, then, maybe you should leave because that's our flag. So
I guess she was forced to delete her account?
Yes, she was forced to delete her account. There's a quote in the story we wrote. It says, quote, this is coming from Annette Franco, the public relations officer for the school district where she teaches. And it says, quote, we are aware of this incident and are investigating. While we do not discuss employee-related matters, we can tell you that showing respect and honor for our nation's flag is a value that we instill in our students and an expectation of our employees. We take matters like this seriously and will be taking action to address it. So she has been not reprimanded yet, but she may be reprimanded. I guess the first question I just want to pose to you guys is, how did this, aside from the whole gay pride thing, aside from all that, because that's disturbing in itself, and we can get into that, trying to force that on children. But just the idea of taking an American flag down because it's offensive, how did this sentiment of anti-Americanism just become so prevalent? How do we let this happen?
Well, that explanation could be 3 hours long.
Yes,
but
you could have a whole special 3-part episode on that.
I mean, slowly over the course of time through academia, these ideas have bubbled over, kind of Marxist-like ideas that came up in the Frankfurt School. You know, we all know the story of critical theories and critical race theory and all that basically just says America is irredeemable.
Yes.
And you need to destroy everything and build it back up as a socialist utopia. That's the only way to really fix everything. But I could just imagine, I know exactly what the headlines from like left-wing outlets are going to be about this. Republicans pounce.
Oh, yes.
Or cancel
Yes.
culture hypocrisy.
Yes.
Or just ridiculous. Like, she did this to herself.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one to blame for this but herself.
No.
That's crazy. She does not. This is the left. The other thing about this, Grant, is that the left, their whole philosophy is about imposing their worldview onto others.
Right.
And that's exactly, that's why so many of them want to be teachers, is because they don't want to actually help students learn to process and use critical thinking. They want to indoctrinate them and make them these little left-wing activists.
And children are such an easy target for that sort of thing.
absolutely.
Of course they are. Yeah, there is one flag in the country that represents all people, all races, all
LGBT.
yes,
believe it or not.
whether we agree with it or not.
Even people like this woman who
Yes,
hates the country,
she
and
is
actually
represent-
still represents her.
Yes, the American flag is the most inclusive flag. It is not the LGBT flag. It's not the transgender flag. It's not whatever other flags they come up with. It's the American flag. That's the most inclusive flag in America. That's what baffles me all the time. They're like, well, this flag is more inclusive. Well, we had to add a color to this flag to make it more inclusive. We
more
already
trying,
have a
yeah.
flag.
No, that proves it's never
Yes.
been inclusive enough.
Yes, it will. You can never be as inclusive as the American flag is. It is impossible. So yeah, this drives me insane.